But like, if you're seeing the Montreal Canadiens in like a Canadiens Bruins game on the slate as a neutral American fan of hockey, you're not tuning into that.
TV schedule is out, and there's some very fun stuff, or national TV schedule, we should say, in the United States, and that's games that you're going to see on TNT exclusively, or on ESPN, or on ABC, or on those fun ESPN Plus exclusive ones. Sean, you had some takeaways from this one, most notably that we are getting a whole lot of which team that plays in Pennsylvania?
Not the right one. Pittsburgh Penguins are tied for what I guess is the third most nationally televised games. Which
Pittsburgh Penguins are going to be on national TV in the United States 16 times.
And you know what would rock? And I don't know exactly what the layout is, because this happened in Bedard's first year with the Blackhawks, where they were just front loaded with a bunch of nationally televised games. But like, what happens if Sidney Crosby does leave, and you have the second half of the season with a bunch of Sidney Crosby-less Penguins games?
I mean, that is how I watch Penguins games now, and Sidney Crosby is on the team.
I am
very uninterested watching Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. All due respect to the Penguins, of course.
There's a very, very short list of teams that I am not interested heading into this season, which we will later on in like a week or two, we're going to talk about the teams that we are most interested and hyped on heading into the season. I mean, it's got to be 31 or 32 that the Pittsburgh Penguins sit in. Like, deeply uninteresting team, deeply bad roster.
It has to be, I think it has to be 32, because when you think of teams that like, oh man, those guys are irrelevant right now, they become a good story when, like, what if the Predators are good this year? Because they're in such no man's land. What if they're suddenly good? Then we're talking about like, oh, should they be investing in this? Should they like go for it with these old guys? Like, all these things, no questions are going to arise when you are watching the Penguins this year.
The only thing I'll say about the Penguins is I think there is, from a pure interest perspective, a little more going on than like a Seattle. Like, I'm more interested in seeing if something does happen with Sidney Crosby, if everything wants to fall apart. Kind of interested in Joel Blomqvist, like if he's good, I guess.
Didn't they get Shelovs too? I know that doesn't have like any pull, but like,
and Connor Clifton, I believe.
We're not talking ourselves into the Penguins being interesting, but like, you raised a good point. If you throw that list back up there again, like the Washington Capitals also have a ton of nationally televised games, the most, I believe, with 18. And like, that's got to be the Ovechkin effect, because like, this is expected to be Alexander Ovechkin's final year in the NHL. So like, anytime the Capitals play the Penguins, you're probably going to get a national TV game, because they're going to build up Ovi and Crosby. You're going to get like Ovi towards the end of the year with, you know, his final games and like where he might sit goal race wise. But like, yeah, I mean, the Penguins getting that many is kind of stunning.
This one's wild to me. The New York Islanders have as many nationally televised games as the Carolina Hurricanes do. That is, I don't think that televised games should be the biggest source of bulletin board material for a team. But if you're the Carolina Hurricanes, are you like, damn, do people hate our practice facilities so much that they won't televise? Like, we?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like a large part of the conversation around them, especially at the end of last season, was just like, this team's boring.
Yeah,
like, it was not a viewer friendly brand of hockey. So as far as nationally televised games go, especially for like a big media brand, if a lot of the discourse on the internet is like, I don't want to watch this team, you're probably not going to be as inclined to. Which,
yeah, but I mean, they also
have 4 more games.
They gave the Bruins 17 National Hockey League national TV games. Did you watch the Bruins last year? So also not the most exciting brand of hockey.
It's an original 6 team in a big market.
It's the market, yeah.
I think that
explains the Flyers at 14. They're not original 6, but that they're a big market. But damn.
Another big takeaway here, and Sean raised this, 5 Canadian teams. 5 Canadian teams have 0 nationally televised games in the United States.
It's just oops, all Oilers and Habs and
Leafs. No, the Habs don't have any televised
games.
Oh,
right. Habs are at 0. That is...
The other Canadian teams I kind of get. Vancouver's a little surprising to me too, especially because they're out west. Couldn't throw a single like Kraken Vancouver game on nationally. whatever. Because the Kraken have 9 fucking nationally televised games for some goddamn reason, more than the Predators, Blue Jackets, Sharks, like all of those teams I would much rather watch. Whatever. The Sabres, whatever. But yeah, I some of these are a little surprising to me, and it's just like, I don't know. I would have to imagine American hockey fans are far more interested in like the Habs.
I was going to ask this question.
Teams.
Like, if we're throwing like these big American markets on TV so often, despite the team like not being good or whatever, like Chicago has 15 national televised games. We all know the importance of the Chicago market to the NHL. Does a team like the Montreal Canadiens not have that kind of pull? Like, obviously, you're not getting the market from the United States, but like if you're seeing the Montreal Canadiens in like a Canadiens Bruins game on the slate as a neutral American fan of hockey, you're not tuning into that.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is the Bruins have 17 nationally televised games, and not a single one is against their biggest rival.
Yeah.
Who are these games against?
Like,
well, I mean,
that's all against the Lightning.
Apparently, like, and that's the thing about this list is like there's however many games here. Every single game that a team has is against one of the other teams on this list. So the fact that none of the 17 games that the Bruins are playing are against one of the 5 Canadian teams that don't have a single game makes no sense. And I get the Winnipeg Jets not having a single game televised in the United States is the right choice. Makes complete sense. Not even not the right choice because I think every team should be shown in that, but like I understand it. I cannot wrap my head around why the Montreal Canadiens don't have any when 2 other Canadian teams, which are the 2 most popular, I would argue at this point, don't have any. Or have a bunch, I should say.
I mean, Oilers have 16 games.
Makes
and
sense.
This tells me, though, that the Oilers are the bridesmaid or the like lesser of the 2 in whatever matchups they're in. Because if you were going solely off of like we're putting an Oilers game on national TV, we're going to do 16 of them. Knowing what happened last year, none of them are against the Canucks. Do you remember what fucking happened that week when the Oilers and the Canucks played twice? Shit was like
on fire.
Yes.
I would be interested if any of the nationally televised games are between the Oilers and the Leafs.
No, I would be shocked if it's 2 Canadian teams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't gotten that. We wouldn't get that nationally televised in the United States. But yeah, like, or just like the games that are most likely to like devolve into a complete shit show. Like, why would you not have the Battle of Alberta once in the United States? And like, I get why about Canadian teams, but it just doesn't seem like the goal here was to put on to show the American audience the most interesting games possible.
Yeah, definitely not. And I know that there's a science behind this, and like there are people that understand it from a business perspective way more than I do. But it's just it's wild to me that like there seems to be such a divide in the U.S. market and the Canadian market, where
but like, not enough,
but not in a way that like should probably help the league,
and not enough to prevent them from completely selling off the Canadian markets completely, because the Oilers and the Leafs go from there being Canadian teams that have none to being 2 of the most televised games. So there's no like happy medium there with it. Fucking Montreal Canadiens, an Original 6 franchise, can't get a single goddamn game against their biggest rival, the Boston Bruins.
It is crazy that they have 0, but it also is such a flex for the Oilers and the Leafs to be like, this is how much pull we have, how much gravitational pull we have, that we have in the teens.
I mean, I'm so
games on national TV.
I'm so in on the Leafs this year.
Gross.
Oh, that's not a good sign for the Leafs. you were in the Buffalo Sabres last year.
Yeah.
God, if that's a trend, the Ducks are fucked.
What teams that
I think if we're talking about teams that are disrespected from this list, the Ducks having 5 games is kind of wild. The San Jose Sharks have more games than the Ducks.
The San Jose Sharks are far more interesting to me than the Anaheim Ducks.
But I mean, you will see depending on how many.
You're not interested in the Ducks now that they're just like the rotting corpse of like the 2016 New York Rangers.
No, I'm much more interested in the sleepovers that the children of the San Jose Sharks are going to have.
But like the Ducks are like
they're going to turn 21 soon and get traded.
The Ducks are like homicidal now. They have Gudas and Trouba.
Like they could be, but I mean, just where we stand right now, like the Sharks are fun, man. Like I would be much more interested in watching them.
Okay, that's good. Like usually I don't get too excited about like All-Star game talk and TV schedule talk, but this I can do. I can do TV schedule talk when it's about the whole league. I can't do TV schedule talk when it's about like, hey, we're talking about how this team has this many games. Like if we were talking about, say we were a Sabres show. We were like, the Sabres are televised X amount. Don't fucking care. Who cares? But when you have the whole league in front of you, that's good.
This is a great graphic, by the way.
What's that?
That's a great graphic.
Puck Report NHL. By the way, Mike Harrington on Twitter, just like, Sabres shouldn't have any.
I knew it was going to be something like
that. For the audio listeners, by the way, the Avs, Bruins, and Red Wings are all tied at 17 for the most behind the Capitals, which the Avs is interesting to me because I feel like the teams in Colorado tend to just kind of get forgotten about. So the fact that they're on TV 17.
I love Mike Harrington so much. Like, there's 99% of beat writers would look at a list and be like, my team doesn't have enough games on TV. Mike Harrington's like, this team should not be even on local TV.
He says networks finally wised up on #Sabres, but 7 is still too many. Who's watching a national? Okay, this is a detail that I did not. He said, who's watching a national showing of 3 Sabres Flyers games? Who the fuck is watching that? Why are they putting the Sabres and Flyers on
watching
TV?
That? I'm watching that.
Those are the games that we would do game reports on.
Yeah, that's got like big Oil Shark Bowl vibes where it's just like, why are either of these teams?
Yeah, like it's either going to be so boring that trying to do something about it will be entertaining, or it's going to be so bad because the teams are so bad that making something out of it will be SpongeBob font fun content. That is what they are. That's what they're pushing forward. Really weird. Okay, I mentioned Jay Fresh.
Wait, before we do that, while we're on the TV thing, I do want to mention, and I don't think we've touched this yet, opening night of the NHL season has no fucking juice.
Yeah, we talked about this. We talked about this at some point at the end of last season.
I think off air.
Oh, I thought we had talked about it like during this show because I think the opening night got released during
opening night slate.
Is awful.
Which is on ESPN.
It's Blackhawks again,
It's a triple header.
Aren't like the Blues involved or something like that?
Blackhawks Rangers, maybe?
It is Blackhawks Panthers. Talk about just being absolutely cruel to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
They have to start the season.
Panthers might not care. Famously, the Panthers aren't good at the beginning of the season unless they're playing the Bruins.
They're raising the banner that night, though. It is in Florida.
It's one of the their, I want to say 9 nationally televised games, the Panthers?
No, I think they got 15. 3 games, triple header. Blackhawks, Panthers, F. Penguins, Rangers, F.
God damn it, dude.
And Avalanche, Kings. I will say that is a good game. Avalanche, Kings, I'm very interested in. But you are starting off the season where everybody is going to be so excited to watch some hockey, and the Blackhawks and Penguins are involved in the first 2 games.
I'm so interested in the Avalanche Kings. I'm just so interested in the Kings this year.
We all silly like the mayor.